That terrifying crash at the Daytona International Speedway, site of today's premier race to the Daytona 500. ABC's Matt Gutman joins us now from the scene. Good morning to you, Matt.
Good morning, Bianna. Nearly 200,000 people were on hand here to watch that nearly physics-defying crash. A 3,500-pound stock car launched into the air, disintegrating as it hit that fence. Parts spring right into the crowd. 28 people hurt, including a child. All of them this morning are in stable condition. This morning, fans and drivers alike recovering from near death at NASCAR.
The stuff was flying everywhere. It was like he was in a war zone.
This massive shotgun blast of debris into the stands came after this tangle of cars in the last lap. And contact! Watch these cars pirouetting towards the finish line when Kyle Larson's number 32 is launched airborne.
The front of the car was gone and the rest of the car was sitting in the stands.
In this video shot by a fan, you can see hunks of steel shooting into the stands.
Oh my God! One of his tires flies over the fence and into the stands.
This 25-pound car tire plunged 10 rows into the packed stands. Nearby, Terry Huckabee rushed to the aid of his brother Eddie, whose leg was slashed by a 3-foot piece of shrapnel.
I grabbed my belt and tied it around his leg, and that seemed to help because it cut down the bleeding.
Rescuers came quickly, but more than 24 were hurt, 2 of them critically. But dedicated fans say the accident won't keep them from being at NASCAR's premier race later today, the Daytona 500.
I got hit by an engine, or a part of an engine, and I got a broken leg. But I'm not going to miss the race tomorrow.
Not even this man you see skipping over, then ducking the onslaught of debris.
Stuff flying everywhere, fluids, parts, pieces.
Crashes are a well-known part of the NASCAR experience. Watch this 25-car pileup in 2012, and in this Carl Edwards crash in 2009, 8 fans were injured.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway.
But it's gender, not carnage, that will have millions of fans glued to the Daytona 500 today. For the first time ever, a woman, Danica Patrick, leads the race after winning pole position, a coveted spot at the front of the pack. Now, race officials say that they've been working through the night to get the track ready to go today and, of course, mend that fence, but they could get a little bit of extra time. It could rain today, so we could see some delays. Dan?
Matt Gutman, thank you. Let's bring in Alan Bestwick now, who was on the scene calling the race for our partner network, ESPN. Alan has 25 years of trackside experience. Alan, thank you for being with us this morning. Let me ask you, on the air yesterday, you described this crash as shocking but not surprising. Those were your words. What did you mean by that?
Well, when you have drivers on the last lap of a race at Daytona, the sport's hallowed ground, charging to the finish with a chance to win, they're going to do whatever it takes to try and win. And when people are racing, doing whatever it takes at nearly 200 miles an hour, we shouldn't be surprised when the unexpected happens. Yet, even though the unexpected can happen, we're still shocked when it does. It's still shocking to see something pierce that safety fence and wind up on the grandstand side. Drivers assume the risk of competing. Fans don't necessarily assume that risk when they come to watch the race.
So let me pick up on that. If I'm part of a family this morning and I'm watching these pictures and I'm thinking, should I take my family members and loved ones to a NASCAR event, should I be thinking twice?
No, not at all. You should grab your sunblock and head out to the racetrack and have a good time. I've been doing this, as you said, for over 25 years, and I can only recall 4 times in those 25 years. Now, that's hundreds of thousands of laps of racing where I've seen anything even similar to this. Just 4 times in 25 years. The analogy I'll make is like going to the airport to get on an airplane. Enjoy your flight. It's safe. Strange things happen on rare occasions, and that's the case with auto racing as well.
I suspect I know how you're going to answer this question, but let me touch the third rail. Some people have raised the question that perhaps the Daytona 500 should not go on today. What is your view of that?
And that's a very natural reaction to consider out of respect for those who were injured here yesterday. But the race should go on. Just as in every other area of life, we carry on. The drivers today have a chance to win the biggest prize in their sport, the Daytona 500. They've been preparing for this for 3 months. Fans, some of them you heard in your own report, have been planning to come here for a year on vacation to see this race. The race will go on, and it should. And before the race, the drivers will be mindful and respectful of those who are injured. But once the race starts, they'll be looking to win the sport's biggest prize.
And we will be watching Alan Bestwick from ESPN, our partner network, who has more than 25 years of trackside experience. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. And Bianna, over to you.
You know, I know he still says it is safe, but it's incredible watching that video of the car parts really acting as killers,
Missiles.
potentially. Yep.